You filthy animals.
How's my buddies over at the R2 Sonic Campfire doing today?
Never well. Keep them warm.
Oh, man.
You guys should come. You're my good luck charms, man. I always catch fish with you guys.
Is there room on the bus? Because I look at you guys, and the 8 or 9 of you guys impressed me a lot. You know, because I first ran. Okay. You know.
No, go on.
You guys.
I don't do advertising. You're not going to see me on billboards or in newspapers, classifieds, none of that. Well, yeah, there's that because, you know, you guys are awesome. But
Yeah, well, that's comforting to know in case I say something stupid.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're hearing it real
That's
time.
kind of our thing, so don't step on our turf.
Yeah, come on, man.
Oh, man, I hope I don't.
What we're saying is actually new, so that's why we're fumbling a little bit, but it's going to sound amazing.
And we are back. We are around the Sonic Campfire tonight. And you are listening to Rotten River Pursuit Podcast. This is Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you outdoors by connecting you to the people, skills, and products that you can trust.
You can trust them.
Mm-hmm. This is Bucky, and who's with me tonight, guys?
I'm Will.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
This is Pick.
I'm Steve.
And I'm still Bucky. Yep. Guys, what's up?
What's going
How
on,
are
Bucky?
you doing, guys?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very well. I tell you what, guys. I many of you know I'm a nurse by trade.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, Buck. I got a feeling I know where you're going. But first,
I need to hear from you a little bit, Ryan.
I think you might want to this time.
Yeah, why don't you tell me about tonight's sponsor?
This episode is brought to you in part by Mountain Dew Kickstart.
Yeah, it is.
A Mountain Dew Kickstart is a great tasting morning refreshment beverage.
Don't you mean replenishment beverage?
Maybe, but I know I get some refreshment from it.
Yeah, well, I need that replenishment.
Well, maybe we'll just agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Or we just agree on the fact that it gives you both, bud.
I can totally get behind that.
It also energizes you in the morning to provide you with that appropriate boost to start your day. Kickstart is a delicious combination of juice, caffeine, and Mountain Dew.
All three.
It's got 'em, bud.
Triple threats.
It sure is. It sure is. Hey, all those flavor options are out there, too. You got the pineapple, orange, mango, the black cherry, fruit punch, mango, lime. There's even a raspberry citrus, but guess what?
I need to try that pineapple orange mango.
It sounds delicious, but you got Stevie's favorite, of course, the orange citrus.
Orange citrus.
Those
In the
orange cans, they're all full up in the fridge. You got to reach.
You have to wait around them
you
to
do.
get to other things. But I usually end up just grabbing one because it's right there, bud.
So, you know, if you want to start your morning off like the bad boy of podcasting, Mr. Steve Miser.
I know I do.
Just grab yourself a Mountain Dew Kickstart and give your day a kickstart. Delicious.
Can you believe that?
How about that, Steve?
Wow, Stevie,
That's your drink of choice.
Kickstart Mountain Dew.
Somebody's excited.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bucky, I'm sorry for cutting you off there earlier, but you were saying something.
And it's a great transition since we were talking about this Kickstart.
Yeah. It's a way to keep your day going.
In the nursing world,
Kickstart this November,
the
bud.
most popular energy type drink, though, is coffee, unfortunately, for Kickstart.
Well, especially in the morning, right?
In the morning, definitely. I think we have a great guest on. Him and his wife are nurses.
Bucky, you're slow rolling this. It's killing me.
Sorry, guys. Let me get on the line here tonight with Denny Vish from Duck Blind Coffee Company. And we're gonna.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Denny.
Hey, Denny.
Hey, Denny.
And I was gonna tell the guys that we're gonna migrate on over to a better cup tonight.
Oh, let's do it.
That's right.
See what you did there,
I
Bucky.
see what
You
he
like
did
that?
there.
I love the coffee, boys.
You love the duck blind, too.
Yes, I do love the Duck Blind and the Duck Blind's coffee.
That's a good combination.
Well, that's a good thing.
The only thing I haven't figured out is how to put a cup holder on the shotgun to hold my coffee
Oh,
cup.
bless your heart.
I don't know, bud. That's
That's-
probably a good thing.
You'd have
That's
to have a lid
stretch.
on that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
might be
We'll just
better
get you
off
one of those
with-
camel packs.
There
Put it in the bag.
I was thinking
that way you don't
either-
have to worry about messing it up when you're shooting.
And it'll keep my back warm too.
It will, yeah.
That is true.
I think we're onto something, man.
Unless you drink ice
We'll
coffee.
meet offline.
The Camelback's
Denny.
probably the best idea, but I was actually picturing him one of those hard hats with the cans on each side of him.
Safety first.
Safety first.
Denny, let's kick this off with telling us how you came up with the name Duck Blind Coffee.
Oh, man. So this started, this was a dream of mine about 6 years in the making, man. All the research and everything went into it. But I grew up on a farm. I grew up outdoors. Love waterfowl hunting. I mean, this is one of my things that kind of got drawn to. Some people are deer. I just was geese and ducks.
Yeah.
And I did that my whole life, man. And I started messing with coffee and reading about it, and I was actually trying to market to hospitals. This was my first, because I'm a nurse by trade as well. Was one of my first things, and I was sitting there going, I kind of really want to get away from the hospital. I really want to be able to do something that I enjoy doing, and I've always, hunting was like, if I'm not working, I'm laying in a cornfield somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there, and one day, and it kind of just clicked, and I wrote it down, and I had a couple other business ideas on top of that, with all related to coffee, because I just kind of got hooked on it.
Just go ahead and start telling us about them right now.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Details, please.
Yeah, details. Yeah. Copyrights.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and like I said, I was always drawn to the outdoors, and I was looking at all that stuff, and I said, we're going to call this Duck Blind Coffee, because that was actually one of the first places I ever had a cup of coffee was with my dad in a duck blind up in Shenango Reservoir. Yeah, and it kind of just all fell together for me.
Like a rite of passage for you.
It was just like, it was like one of those aha moments, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I started writing recipes down and doing all this stuff, and the migrate to a better cup, and everything just kind of just started just pouring, man. It just kind of just fell right into place. And
I see what you did
It's
just
been pouring.
there.
Did you like that?
That's clever.
That's how you know you're doing the right thing. Like when it just pours out of you.
It happens naturally.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I mean, I sat down with a notebook, and within 6 hours, I had an entire business built, and had the logo drawn and future plans and everything. And it just, I was sat back and looked at it. It was like, wow.
Huh.
And I was like,
those ideas were just percolating right out of them.
Percolating. There it is. I was waiting for it. I was so waiting for it.
We could do this all night.
Yeah, right.
That's it, right?
Were you shocked, to search Duck Blind Coffee and see that it's available?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something that words and stuff. If you do any of that stuff, it's so hard to come up with names because things are taken. Versions of the different things are taken, and you have to just, So sometimes, like our friends at the hunt camp, or at hunt camp, they found that there was an availability there, and we're just slapping
no
around.
way,
How do you get lucky enough to get
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Duck Blind Coffee, or
right?
So what'd you do then? Just go out and plant a bunch of coffee plants?
Yeah, no.
Get rolling?
So no, I wish we could grow it in the United States. We can't. It's only grown in certain parts of the world. I think Hawaii is the only state that grows coffee. And then I was just reading a couple articles recently. And actually, California they just started. They just opened up a coffee plantation out there, which will be the first in the states ever to be able to grow coffee. I guess it's sustainable, and they're doing really well with it. It's very expensive, but I've yet to try it. I've yet to see any of it. So, but
Kopi Luwak.
Yeah, something like that, right? But
now is that based off of just the ground isn't right for it? The climate isn't right, or
the climate, the longitude, the latitude, the soil makeup.
Okay.
It's just kind of how it falls in place.
Is coffee more like tobacco?
Coffee is one of the highest traded things in the world.
No kidding.
So yeah, it's like oil, coffee, it's amazing.
And I say the tobacco meaning because the reason why Cuban cigars are known to be Cuban cigars is because of the soil and the volcanic and it's the soil, the climate, the moisture. It's everything, and it's mainly soil. That's why you can't take a Cuban seed to the Dominican and really make the same tasting cigar, I guess.
It sounds like it's even a little more specific though than tobacco, because tobacco you could actually grow still in Pennsylvania, upstate. They grow tobacco.
Probably,
So coffee's even more specialized than that.
Yeah, probably more.
Yeah, no, you're 100%. That's a great. Yeah, no, that's a great analogy. That works. That's pretty much how it is. I mean, that's the longitude, the latitude, the temperatures, the elevation, the different soils. It changes all the flavors of all the beans. I mean, that's why coffee's so unique. Like I always use the references like, you can cook a steak, and I can cook a steak, but it's going to taste completely different, and it's the same thing with coffee. I mean, I can give you the same beans that I import, and you could roast it yourself, and it's going to taste completely different than what I make. I mean, like times, temperatures, and it comes down to seconds, different parts of the roasting. And when you put temperature, when you add heat, when you take it away, when you add airflow, when you don't, and it changes the whole makeup of the coffee bean. And then, I worked real hard on getting those all written down. I mean, it took me almost 2 years to get our first flight. And it took, oh my God, I made pounds and pounds and pounds of coffee and just trying it. And finally we settled on it.
Wow. 2 years to get
to get the recipe
done.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
So when you say you're making the coffee, like what is that process? Do you have the beans get shipped to you and then you start your process or modification or recipe, if you will?
Yeah. So I have a warehouse that a guy helps me import and stuff. It's up right outside of Erie, Pennsylvania. And he gets the bags in for me, and I drive up and fill my vehicle up with coffee and come back down to the roastery here where we built it on our property out in Clinton.
Oh, wow.
And the beans are fermented. They're green. They smell like grass.
Okay.
And basically, you weigh it out, you throw it in the roaster, and I have all the times and temperatures and airflows and stuff all written down. And it's the recipe, and it's just repeatable. And I just sit there and do that all day.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty cool. I never knew that.
It's an interesting process. It really is. And like I said, it took a long time to research it all, and really understand the whole process as well. Because they're like I said, there's coffee shops everywhere.
Yeah.
And people make it everywhere, and that's why it's like I said, that's why it's so unique, because it tastes different. I mean, you're never going to have the same cup of coffee at anywhere else you would go to, different places.
Does consistency keep you up at night? I know, like we brew beer sometimes. Yeah. It's just every once in a while we like to do that, and consistency is crazy in that process. Yeah. And I would imagine coffee would be similar, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, down to the moisture content of the beans, like the little meter that I use. I mean, yes, it's to be consistent. You want to have, building a brand, you want to be able to make sure that somebody's going to buy that. They're going to have the same cup of coffee every time they drink it.
Right. Yeah.
And like you said, consistency that's the thing. Cause I mean, if you mess something up here or there or something, or, the whole batch could be completely ruined. It won't taste anything what you want.
Just send me that crappy batch.
That's right. Listen, I've been tinkering with a couple ideas. I got some stuff laying around here that's pretty decent too, that we may end up launching in the future.
Yeah, holler at your boy for some
all kinds of new ideas rolling around in your bean.
Oh, it never quits, man. Never quits.
Denny, how did you stay motivated during those 2 years where you're trying to come up with this
coffee?
Lots
of coffee.
How do you keep at it and not?
What, man? It was a passion. It's kind of what it started, an obsession, and then it turned into a passion. But what really got me through was that I was selling to the hospital. I was selling coffee to the employees. So I would roast a bunch. And I thought, if we didn't like it, if it wasn't up to what I wanted and my wife wanted, because she really helped us, she really helped develop everything too, because I wanted something that she would drink. Basically what I did is I would just take the batches that we weren't doing and I'd sell it to the people at the hospital, and word spread, and I was selling bags of just to the people that work there.
Coffee is life in the hospital.
And,
yeah.
I'm serious.
I mean, no, and that's how it kind of took off for me, because that was like, the word spread, and then I finally started narrowing down different roasts, and I would bring it to work and say, okay, guys, like 1 or 2, here's a bag, make some in the break room. What do you guys think?
Huh.
And I got a lot of feedback from that, and then I started giving it to my family, and then they were like, this is really good. And then we narrowed it down even more. And then I remember we were sitting in my kitchen, and I had 10 cups of coffee. I ended up on the thing, and it was 10 different roasts. And we were sitting there and we were trying it. We had it down to 2. And actually, the first light, this is it actually gets better as it cools off, which is completely uncharacteristic from coffee. And it's wild. Like, I mean, we'll make a pot in the morning, and I'll come home or whatever, and it'll be ice cold, and and you can drink it, and it's fantastic.
When you say it gets better as it cools off, what do you mean it gets better? I don't drink a lot of coffee, so
yeah.
I don't understand.
So if you
terminology.
Usually whenever like coffee cools off, the flavor profile changes, and it tastes stale. I mean, it gets bitter. It doesn't. Yeah. It's not good. You stale coffie, and it's not great.
Yeah.
But for some reason with this,
it's not
with
that
what we,
bad, Bucky.
It is.
No,
is it? But I'm telling you,
I'll drink it. I'll drink it in any state.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
Virginia,
that's right. But yeah, that was the winning factor of it all. Was the fact that it was cooling down, and she called it. This is like the perfect mom coffee, because you can make it. You have kids running around. You pour a cup and you sit it down. You get like 2 sips out of it, and then you're off and running by the time you get back.
An hour later, you get back. Yeah.
So you start off with those 10 cups right there on the table. You're able to filter it down to the top 2.
Yeah, we did. There was like they call it cupping. It's a cupping process, which is another thing. It was pretty cool with the waterfowl stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of tied into it,
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's just basically you put the grinds in, you take a spoon, and it's just like basically like wine tasting. You inhale it quick, and then you spit it out. You let it sit on your palate, and it's basically an art form. I mean, I have read a lot about that too, because like there's different ways of doing it and different ratios to water, and there's so much that went into it. And we started making that, and that was going to be the flagship brand. Like that was the one I wanted everybody to drink, because it was really good. And then, I tried making it darker, and it just wasn't turning out right. So I got my hands on some more beans, and we started making the dark roast, which is the night flight. And that actually turns out better cold. If you do a cold brew overnight, let it sit in the refrigerator, because and that was one of the things we always drank too, was cold coffee. In the summer we drink cold coffee, and it was just and it turned out really good. And so I took these 2 to work, and the word spread, and people started talking about it. And I said, this is really good stuff, man. When are you going to do this? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, this is a big step. I've been saving money for a while trying to get the business off the ground. And, I had everything I really needed to do it. It was just a matter of just taking the step. And me and my wife were on a beach. We took the kids down to Myrtle for vacation. And we were sitting there, and I was looking around, and, and the ER life, it just beats you up mentally,
I bet.
And I've seen some really, really, really messed up things in my life. And I'm sitting on the beach watching my kids play, and my wife looked at me. She goes, "When are you gonna do this coffee thing?" I said, and this was like 6 months now. We had the recipe. I had my hands on it, and I was like, you know what? When we get back, we're doing it. And we got back, and the next day we broke ground and started building the roasting facility up to the FDA standards and everything.
Is the ground part a metaphor for coffee?
The ground. What do you mean a metaphor? Ground for what?
Broke ground.
Grounds. Yeah.
I didn't.
Broke grounds, man. Gotta love it.
It sounds like a metaphor.
Yeah. I throw it in there every once in a while. I forget that I talk sometimes. But yeah, no. And then we started, and we had it all built. And November of last year, I had the agriculture department come out, and everybody came out and inspected it. And then they gave me the go-ahead. And I was deer season. I'm in the car, and I said, talking to my dad, we're driving up to Tionesta to hunt. And I said, you know what? I said, we just got approved. Everything passed. And he goes, what are you waiting for? He's like, you got to open doors. So The website was ready to go. We hit the launch button December 1st and haven't looked back since.
Wow.
Nice. I love it.
So you're coming up on a year then.
Yeah, we are.
Sweet. That's awesome.
So let me be the first to say happy anniversary.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Which means in February when we met you, you'd been running for a month-ish.
Yeah, we were brand new in February. I mean, it was months. Yeah.
Wow, and you went straight for the Great American Outdoor Show.
You know, we were invited there.
You were,
Big Frig Coolers invited us to help, promote a coffee dripper. They saw us online on our social media platform, and they, Ed gave me a call and was like, "Hey, you going to come down and do this?" And I said, "Well, I've been in business for 3 months, man. Let's do this. This is a great opportunity." And I owe everything to those guys. Those guys really helped out a lot.
That's a good show to sell some coffee at.
Yeah,
I mean, the show itself's a grind, but
it is. Yeah. 10 days is a long time.
Yes,
I talked to a lot of people, made a lot of contacts, and like I said, those guys helped out a lot. I have nothing but great things to say about them. I mean, that was really amazing stuff. So, and then it kind of just panned out from there, and we started coming back and filling orders, and now we've shipped to 30 states.
Wow.
So far, guys in 30 states and stuff.
After that show, you started filtering your coffee out to 30 states.
Yeah. I mean, like it took off. Orders from, all over the United States came in, and I've shipped it to Japan and Australia.
Wow.
And Iraq right now, as so far as where it's going overseas. It's kind of cool.
That is cool.
And yeah, it is. And like I said, I had the business plan written out, and like the first year I was just gonna I wasn't really gonna hit anything really hard because I wanted to see what kind of a market I was dealing with, and and I didn't want to get in over my head too quick. But this first year has been more than I could ever ask for.
That's great.
And it is. It really is. It's an amazing thing. And we have the different promotions and things like that we run. If you find a band in your bag of coffee, you get a free bag of coffee, and that took off. And people, I got bands popping up all over the United States, and it's kind of cool because we use my daughter actually helps me put the bands in the bags. It's kind of cool. And we don't. I have no idea where they go. I mean, when we're grinding the bags of coffee, she's she'll drop one or two here and there, and then she'll go about her business, and I don't know where they're going to pop up. I really don't. And
that's awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. So, I mean, like to see to get a message like, "Hey, I found one in Alaska," or "Hey, I found one in California." I'm like, "Hey, that's really cool."
Yeah.
Do you think, at least nowadays, it seems like a lot of folks are on these mass-produced products, beer, for example, coffee. It seems like a lot of folks are kind of switching to more of a craft type selection. Is that
artisan, if you will?
Yeah. No, I've seen that with the market for sure. When I pay attention to that stuff and I look at things, but yeah, I mean that's taken a lot of the big businesses out of everything. They've really taken a hit over the years because of that. And it's a really cool phenomenon if you if you watch it, because like you said with beer, I can't drink anything now. It has to be a craft beer. I have to drink. I've been drinking Penn Brewery now for forever. I fell in love with it, and for me, to even sit down and drink like a Miller Lite or a Coors Light, it's hard for me to even do that because I don't enjoy it. And the attention to detail that those small facilities and things can do to bring you an amazing product, that's really cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Even like the little mom and pop restaurants you go in and out of, you can go to an Olive Garden, but there's a little Italian place by me that, dude, you'd pay $100 to eat their meal, and it's cheaper than an Olive Garden, and it's.
I think the explosion and the popularity of all that craft stuff, it speaks to, like you were saying, about the quality and stuff like that. And people have discerning tastes, and the fact of the matter is the cream will always rise to the top.
There's another one.
I actually have a list that I'm scratching off as I use it. So.
Hopefully we won't double up.
I was wondering if you were writing stuff down.
So he's a real creamer.
He's really pressing it tonight, though.
Ooh.
Oh my
I
goodness.
didn't have that one, but I'm gonna write it down and cross it off.
You got it. That was a good one.
He just keeps dripping it out.
Drinking it out.
So, Denny, we were talking earlier. You've got 3 kids. You're you're a nurse. You're doing this coffee thing. You're a busy guy. How on earth do you have any time in the world to do any hunting at all?
Dude, my early season was I got out. I got on a tree stand once.
Did you?
And early season, I coached football. Helped coach football this year for my
And
my
you're
youngest.
a football coach.
Oh, jeez.
And a soccer coach, yeah.
And a soccer coach.
It's busy. That's all I can say. But, my
No
early
wonder you
season
needed the
this year.
coffee. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
Ain't that the
Yeah,
truth?
my
very
early season was
tactical.
non-existent. Yeah, my early season was non-existent this year. It's driving me crazy.
When do you normally really are really able to get into it?
So it takes really careful planning.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I get on, and that's the hardest part right now. Is because I don't know. I am not into a business groove yet. Because I don't know. I mean, I get new orders every day, or one day I'll have 40 orders, the next day I'll have 20 or 10. So it's kind of hard to judge that. So the first years I was pretty much expected not to be able to get out much.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited Saturday. I think I'm going to go shoot some geese on a golf course. I'm hoping.
Oh, yeah.
But again, like I said, it right now I want to get the business up and going and then play later,
Right.
But it's give and take sacrifices, I guess, and I want something that's going to be sustainable for my family in the future. I mean, obviously I'm a family. I mean, my family's the most important thing ever for me. So, I try to be in it. That was one of the reasons why I became a nurse is, my dad and my mom both worked 3 jobs
wow.
and it was hard for them to be around,
So
and,
you're like,
my dad,
I see your 3 jobs, and I'll raise you 8.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, my dad actually has a pizza business. He opened a pizza shop. I was 4 years old whenever he bought it.
Duck blind pizza.
That's it. That's it. So yeah, no, he's had that pizza place for 30 years almost now.
His dad had his first slice of pizza in the duck blind.
That's right. Oh man, let me tell you
He
something.
slapped his forehead and was like,
we eat some pizza in the duck blinds when I was a little man. It was great. We had cooler fulls of it. It was good stuff.
Yeah.
But
So Danny,
yeah,
how many people are helping you at Duck Blind Coffee Central?
Me and my wife, brother. That's it right now.
Just the 2 of you.
That's crazy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and and that's kind of how I wanted it right now, just so I can get a handle on things.
Yeah.
And see where things were going to go and what my next plans were, my next paths to really get into this.
which flyways you're looking for?
Well, yeah, exactly. What zones,
Yeah.
So about the shooting geese on the golf course.
Yeah.
What's that all about? That sounds
You
like
know-
a lot of fun.
Well, you know what? Geese are just a nuisance on a golf course, man. I mean, they're from attacking the golfers that are there, to just pooping everywhere, and there's really no way to get rid of them, and they don't move. They don't have to. And the lakes and the water and the grass and everything right there is just a perfect habitat for them to just hang out all day and never do anything. And, we've made some friends. I'm a golfer. I've been a golfer my whole life. And we made some friends on some golf courses, and they're like, you guys take a golf cart out there, your decoys out there, drive out, set up, shoot them off the thing.
Wow.
Come into the clubhouse, eat, you want to go play around of golf, whatever. And then in the evening, sit there and wait for them to come back, shoot them again.
Stevie's thinking about taking up golf.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. It's going to be interesting.
That sounds like the perfect Saturday.
Do they close the golf
right?
course? Like when I drive up, it says golf course closed due to goose extinction project, or
well, no. So what happens is
You have
we
to
try to
shout
get
4 before you pull the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. You have to yell 4 before you squeeze off and touch your round off.
You have to pull it. Yeah, you have to yell 4 before you squeeze off 3.
But no, what happens? Actually, it works perfect because some of the lakes that are hunted are on the back part of the golf course. So when the guys tee off in the morning, they're only on 9, and they're in the front of the course.
Yeah.
And you're only going to get a couple shots at these birds, and then they're gone.
I get you.
Could you imagine being the guy getting ready to take a
back
swing
swing.
and then hearing the 12 gauge go
Open up.
Well, it's not even that, like, duck hunters are like, it's like war.
Yeah.
You know, like it's boom, 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 boom. It's not like deer hunting or like it can sound.
There's 5
so
guys in the blind. You're
crazy.
hearing 15 shots. Yeah.
It gets loud really quick.
Right.
Do you have a duck blind now that you get to?
This year, no. Well, my buddy, he started his own plumbing business. One of the guys I really hunt with a lot, so he's been pretty busy. But we actually hunt down right in West Virginia here. It's so overlooked, and we launch. It's right outside my home here. I mean, within 20 minutes, and it's money. Like, it's all I can say is it's an absolute money spot. There's no competition. Nobody does it.
A good spot then.
Yeah.
And oh man, dude,
Can you drop us a pin of that?
Yeah. Tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow for you.
Keep watching your phone.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's really worked out great. And we used to hunt the power. There's a nuclear power plant right about 10, 15 miles from me, and there's a hot water discharge.
Okay.
And when I was a teenager growing up, that was the spot me and my buddy Ryan went to. And then whenever 9/11 had happened, you know, they kind of like shut down any type of hunting around there. So it kind of put the birds that attracted in the winter, man, was just out of this world. And we had some really good shoots when I was younger there. And it was a lot of fun. And then you find different spots here and there. There's a couple places on the Beaver River where we get into, and it's, right under the turnpike. We've killed a lot of birds there. And it's really cool. And then you always find a spot. That's the best part about the whole thing, is because you're not limited to just a piece of property to hunt. You find birds, you get in there, and you ask, you knock on some doors, and people look at you like you're crazy because out this side of the state, there's not many waterfowlers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just distant. We have some, but nothing like out east, up north, like out in our area. I knock on a farmer's door and say, "Hey, you mind if I shoot them geese there in your field?" And he goes, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you go for it." He's like, "I figured you were trying to deer hunt." I'm like, "No, I got plenty of places to do that." Yeah, and it's great because you get to meet those guys too. Because I found that if you show up in scrubs after work and knock on a door, you have a better chance of getting.
I'm pulling my scrubs back out of the closet.
So you remember that, Uncle Buck? Remember that for sure. Because it was funny because the day I was coming home from work, and there's probably 100 birds in this field, and I'm going,
jeez.
I gotta stop. I gotta stop. I knocked on the door, and the lady answered. She goes, "What happened?" I was like, "What do you mean, what happened?" It's
not what it looks like.
Standing there with like a blue scrubs on, coming home from work. She's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Nothing. I was just want to know if I can hunt." And she was like, "Oh yeah. Where do you work?" And I was like, "Okay."
I work at a coffee company.
Good evening, man. Let me start off by saying everyone's fine.
These are my hunting clothes.
Fine. Yeah, this is what I hunted.
So, Denny, who do you normally hunt with when you get out?
So, when I was younger, I started off was just me and my dad, my cousins, and my dad running a business and everything was kind of hard to get in and out of. So I made friends high school, and growing up as just friends and people I've met in the field. And my main guys are my buddy Ryan, and he's an amazing guy. I met him on a Thanksgiving hunt in the middle of a gale. We shouldn't even have been out. I don't even know how old I was. I think I was like 18 maybe.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm 32 now, so I mean, so I've known Ryan for a long time. But we were setting up decoys and trying to catch him, and I mean it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds. It was stupid. And this kid came across the field carrying these decoys. He didn't say anything, and a headlight on, and walked right through us. And I was like, "Dude, where are you going? Like, there's nobody else out here. It's me and my cousin. Like, dude, just hunt with us." And he's like, "Seriously?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
get down, shut up."
Like, dude, just hunt with us. Like, let's I mean, we're not gonna shoot anything. Like, this is stupid. Like, but I got up at 2:00 in the morning to come out here. Like, I'm sitting in the field.
A while.
Yeah.
And the birds got up in the morning, man. It was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then the wind was howling, and I'm like, wow. And then we watched this flock come up off the reservoir by us, and it took them, and the way it took them 40 minutes to get to us. I mean, how hard the wind was blowing,
Really?
and they just all they did was want to get out of the wind, man.
Right.
They landed on us, and we cleaned up.
Huh.
No way.
It was. I'm telling you, man. They hit because where the reservoir sits, it's in a valley. And man, they got up out of that valley, and that wind just took them, and they're flipping upside down, and they're just in a big old ball, and they're trying, and they're working for everything they could get to get down. As soon as the cornfield was right there. As soon as they crested the hill, they were right on top of us. They just wanted out of the wind.
Yeah.
It was great. It ended up being a great hunt and a great. I mean, it was awesome, and I made a great friend out of the deal. And I talked to him, and we hunt together, and it's pretty much the same with another one of my buddies. I almost consider him like another father. His name's Tom. And I met him on my 21st birthday. I said I turned 21, and I had a car. I was driving a red Monte Carlo, man, and you should see how many decoys I could fit in Monte Carlo. It'll blow your mind.
What year was it?
I had an 03 Monte Carlo.
Yeah?
It was red.
Oh my!
And I had two. The best part was I had two 12s in the trunk too. Right.
What?
Oh yeah, my man.
MTXs.
No, I had Rockfords.
I was gonna say.
And I pull, and there's a pull off, and I called Ryan, and he's like, dude, the birds are coming in this field. We're gonna get there. So I'm standing, and I'm putting some of my boots on and everything, and I'm waiting for he pulls in. And as soon as he pulls in, this truck pulls in behind him and goes and parks right where we were gonna in the field, right where we were gonna go. And I'm standing there, I was like, are you kidding me? And he looked at me and goes, dude, let's. I'm like, we're gonna ask him. Like, we're gonna go because he's by himself.
Yeah.
I walk up to his truck, and he rolled down the window, and he goes, "You guys goose hunting?" And I said, "Yeah, we are." And he goes,
"No, just carrying around these decoys."
Big gulps.
I said, "How many guys do you have with you?" And he said, "Just me and Ryan." I said, "How many you got with you?" He said, "Just me." And I said, "All right." I was like, "You want to hunt together?" And he goes, "Yeah, why not?"
Wait a minute.
Well, we set up.
Did my wolf pack grow?
and dude, and I got off the phone with him right before I'm talking to you guys, and it's just like one of those things, and it's I'm 32, it's 21, like I mean it's years now we've hunted together.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
My cousins will sneak in here and there every once in a while. They want to go shoot some birds, whatever. But those are like the two main guys I really hunt with. And I had they're awesome people. They really are.
Yeah. So if I run across the golf course with a couple of decoys on my hands, you're going to wave me into the blind with you.
That's a great idea, Brian.
That's a way to get an invite.
There's a lot of golf courses, brother.
So I'm assuming you like to eat geese and ducks, right?
You know what I do.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Everybody asks me that. It's so funny. But like I found out if you shoot some geese, everybody's like, "Oh, they're nasty bird." If you shoot a goose and you cook it as soon as you shoot it, don't freeze it, don't do anything. Yeah. Cook it down, slice it down, pan fry it, some garlic, and some butter, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
But if you freeze it, you cook it like that, man, it just doesn't taste the same. So basically, I don't think so. No, I think it really messes the flavor up. So I'll smoke them. We smoke them a lot.
Oh yeah.
The goose legs and breasts and stuff like that, and then a lot of jerky we make. And I actually prefer goose jerky over deer jerky.
I've never had goose jerky. That sounds pretty good.
Dude, it's good. You got to try it.
Do you slice it or grind it?
Slice it.
Yeah.
I slice it down. Yeah.
Yep.
And then throw it and let it marinate for 48 or so, and then my house smells like jerky cooking.
Yeah. Do you have your own marinade, or do you use something off the shelf?
You know what?
Duck blind marinade.
Oh, I know, right? That's I actually have. It's funny that you say that. I actually have a guy I work with now that's he's big into the smoking meats and stuff like that. And he's actually made a duck blind blend for me, and he has the recipe written down. And he was with the coffee. It actually has coffee in it. It's great.
Oh.
And I was talking to him. That's an option that's in the works in the future here.
You heard it first here.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a little bottle out maybe next time I send some coffee your way.
Deal.
You guys will have to try it. So, but yeah, it's really good stuff.
Don't tease me.
But yeah, that's duck blind. Who knows what's going to happen with this, man? It's like I said, it's it develops every day. It's great. It's an adventure.
I love it.
So what's your go-to recipe for goose or duck? What's the first way you're going to cook it?
Dude, I cast iron, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of salt, pepper, nothing crazy. I don't do nothing nuts with it, but wrapping it in bacon and all that other stuff. No, I'll slice
like
down.
handling to me.
Make some potatoes, man, some green beans and stuff, and then to slice it down, eat just like a steak. And that's my method, man.
Okay.
I absolutely could do that.
Yeah,
marinate
Keep
that
it
stuff in
simple.
some gazebo.
I use the KISS method. Keep it simple,
keep
stupid.
it simple. Absolutely.
Yep.
I've even did old Sammy P's duck candy, but using the goose breast.
Goose. Yeah. Oh yeah,
goose breast instead, and that's just nothing but your regular old rub that you're going to put on your pork shoulder
I don't
or
know.
whatever.
I think Sammy had a fairly specific rub.
He did one, but you don't have to do exactly what.
Well, it's not Sammy
Well,
P's.
y'all have eaten
duck
mine, and
candy.
I'd
Really?
yeah.
What did you rub on it?
I make my own rub.
You shut your
instead
mouth.
of going and buying it, you can blend your own rub up.
Go on.
It's basically 50-50 brown sugar and
Are you writing this down, Denny?
Yes, I am.
You can
chili
bottle
powder.
this.
It's going to be recorded as well.
That's
your
good.
chili powder.
Okay.
That's 50-50 with the
50-50
with the brown sugar.
15?
And then I put in some
Teaspoon of dark
and
roast.
then just for flavor, you put in some like garlic salt, garlic powder, onion salt, whatever, maybe a little bit of cumin if you want to put a little bit more of a south of the border flair to it. You put some cumin.
I think that's
if
way
you wanna
south.
If you want to put
far
some,
east.
if you want to put some,
He's thinking of Cuban.
cumin.
That's way south,
C-U-M-M-I-N.
south of the border, like Florida.
Spices.
Either way, it tasted good. I'm not complaining about where it was
to
from.
the
You can make
spice
your own
thing.
rub. Don't
He's
buy
new
it.
to
Make
Cuban.
your own to your own palate, guys. That's what I'm saying.
South of the border.
But
Sorry
I like the way
about
he
all
thinks.
that, Denny.
No, I
Denny.
like the way he thinks, man. That's great.
And then you wrap that in bacon,
Yeah.
skewer it up, throw it on your grill.
All that stuff is going to add up to a lot of bacon flavor.
So
That's it.
I might give it a go though with Denny's. I got a cast iron skillet with my name on it.
You're
Not literally.
You're
but
you have a simple palate. I
Yeah.
don't want you to take out the wrong way, but
Thanks. And a simple mind, bud.
you don't go too far away from the garlics and the butters.
Yeah, you don't need to.
But maybe some time here and there every once in a while, depending on.
We all have.
But I
need
think
time.
the important thing about the goose is it's a pretty red meat, and you can treat it almost like a steak, and do different. Like you can make a good burger out of it, and then use it for chilies or empanadas. There's a lot of good uses for goose if you're willing to open up your mind.
I think I'm coming over to your house to eat, man.
Come on.
I'm telling you.
Come on. You let me hunt them geese with you. I'll teach you how to cook it in your
Just
own
run
kitchen.
through a setup with a decoy or two. He'll just wave you into the blind.
Just bring me some empanadas or whatever.
Empanadas, man.
Empanadas.
Those
Sack
impalas.
full of goose empanadas.
South of the border empanadas.
South of the border. I'm too north, man. I don't know. Tacos. That's all I know.
Go to the pro shop
Brought
and,
you.
and say, Denny told me that.
Uncle
right.
Buck's empanadas.
That's it.
Goose crushed empanada.
Goose Cuban empanadas.
Coffee empanada.
Go to the pro
That's
shop
right.
and ask for a box of 3.5-inch shells.
And I'm going to need some of those teas. too.
And a bag of teas.
There's VS ones, and I'll take the
Some black clouds.
I'll take those black clouds.
Oh, my. That sounds like so much fun. I still have to
Some
try
of
it.
them bag decoys over there. Oh, bless her heart.
We could try to make that happen.
I'd love to go out there and try that.
Do you have a caddy for the carrier goose bag?
That would be that. Now
Decoy
you're
bag.
talking. Now you're talking.
Caddy.
Somehow we need to film this where Bucky is Will's caddy, and he's recommending which round to use based on the lie.
I like the 6 shot on that one here.
It's like a.
We digress.
Yeah, it's got to be some kind of version of like in the duck blind Caddyshack version.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, you could definitely do it. Definitely.
Well, I hate to say this. But we're sneaking up on a
creeping.
What are we sneaking up on?
Well, yeah, we're uniquing up on the situation that we like to call Fast Five.
And what's that, Will?
Denny,
what is the
this
Fast
is
Five?
a time of the show where we throw out 5 questions quickly. The Fast 5.
In no
particular order.
No wrong answers.
There's no wrong answers.
We'll let you know if there are.
But we'll tell you if they're wrong. So
don't
we're
like
gonna throw out 5 questions one at a time, and you just fire off the first thing that comes to your mind. All right?
Oh man. All right. I got you.
You're gonna do great.
And I got the first question. All right. What are you most proud of?
Oh, right now in my life?
Yeah.
I'd say my kids, man. There's nothing else in this world that matters to me.
That's awesome.
I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, I'd walk away from everything in a heartbeat for those guys.
What's your kids' names? How old are they?
So I have a 12-year-old. His name's Dominic. 6-year-old's name's Dennis. And as well as after me, he's actually the 4th. And then my youngest daughter is Sadie.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, then question number 2. What is one thing you can't live without in the outdoors?
One thing I can't live without in the outdoors. Oh, I'd probably say my hand warmers, man.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, it gets pretty chilly out there in Western PA.
I'm in your camp, Denny. No question.
Hand warmers, man.
Yeah.
I do like me some hand warmers, but
those hot hands are the best things ever.
I thought that thermos full of duck blind coffee was going to keep your hands warm.
Oh no, I wasn't going that direction with it.
Yeah,
I was going back. I was going old school before this was even a thing, man. It was hand warmers. I'd buy boxes of them things.
I know. I feel like should be invested in the company or something.
You probably kind of are.
Probably.
You
are.
don't even know.
I'll tell you this story real quick with the hot hands. I was at a tree stand, and it was December. It was cold, man, and my buddy was pushing deer. He was walking around, and he looks up and he sees it, and there's steam coming off of me. He goes, he gets to the bottom of the tree, and I'm looking at him, and he's like, "Dude, what do you have?"
How are you
I think
doing
I had
that?
I had 15 packs of hot hands open. What? I had them stuck in my boots and my pockets and my shoulders. I had them in my paw, dude. It was great.
When they got that one side that's sticky, I did the same thing. Like I stuck them everywhere, and I know you're not supposed to, but I do it.
Listen, I don't want to be cold. You know, I want to.
That'll ruin your day quick.
They say you're not supposed to. What's the worst that's going to happen? Are they going to spontaneously combust? Well, then you got fire, and you're going to be warm.
You just take off what's over on fire and start something.
Love it.
That's great. That's great. Hey, Danny. What's your favorite movie?
Oh man, Lawless.
Lawless.
Have you seen that yet?
What is it?
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen it.
Lawless is about moonshining.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah,
what's the actor's name? He played Bane. He's in all kinds of stuff. Tom
Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's one of the brothers.
Dude, it's an absolutely great movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It is. It's very well written. The book is great. It's a very, very well done movie.
Cool.
I mean, I'm Italian, so I was going to, it's between that and The Godfather, obviously. So
yeah.
Forget about it.
You forget about it. That's
Question 4, Denny. What's one thing you do every day to prepare for your outdoor lifestyle?
Oh, well, yeah. Start with coffee, brother.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, that's the first thing. It is out of bed, coffee. Filling the thermos up.
I hear that.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. All right, Bucky.
Hey, Denny, What's on your bucket list?
Bucket list. Oh, in general or in hunting bucket list? What do you think?
Hunting. Let's go with that one first. Yeah.
And then
All right.
general.
Then general.
Okay.
Yeah. Even major or captain.
I've never shot ducks in standing timber ever.
Oh,
what
that
timber.
sounds like
love that.
so much fun.
Never done that, and that is on my bucket list now. I've always, that's one thing I've always wanted to do. I mean, because we just PA, you don't have it.
Yeah.
And
Can
that
I
looks
invite
like
myself to your bucket list?
that's
Just
yes,
show
you
up with a
can.
bag
brother.
full of decoys.
We decoys. I'll bring some
And
coffee.
3.5-inch shells.
And some shells. Oh yeah, heavy shot stuff. Yeah, for sure.
If Stevie comes along, we better get a few cases.
Yeah,
Hey,
don't skimp on the shells.
You ain't kidding.
No, I won't.
No, but I would love that situation. I've never done it. I've thought that's just the end all be all.
Yeah, I mean, to get in them and then they're heavy like that, man. That looks like an absolutely fun, amazing shoot, and I want to do that.
We've talked with some guys that do that quite a bit, and they say they just plop out right in front of you.
Yeah. I mean,
Steve,
the videos I've seen it done.
We can see them from a mile off coming in.
I heard that.
We're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yep. Wow. That's why I said that's the bucket list for hunting.
So what about in general? What's non-hunting bucket list?
I'd absolutely love to backpack across Europe, man. Absolutely, just would love to just go check that out because
awesome.
It's some of the ruins and just the old castles and things like that. Just make my way across, like take a whole month and just see as much stuff as I possibly could.
Where would you start?
I'd probably start where my family came from in Italy.
Okay.
And work my way. I'd go to Greece and go to Rome and see the Colosseum and things like that, and for sure. And then just work my way up. And that's definitely something me and my wife have discussed. She wants her family's from Germany, and they actually escaped Hitler and came to the United States. Yeah, her family has a really fascinating story.
Wow.
But we want to go and see where her grandma would was right outside the Black Forest. And we'd love to go back and check that out and see where she grew, where her grandmother grew up and everything. She's really close with her. So,
yeah.
But that's the life bucket list. That's definitely something that's going to happen. It's just a
cool
matter of when to get it happen, to make it happen.
Yeah.
That I don't have a lot of knowledge of the Black Forest.
They make good ham there.
Other than they make some decent ham. But one of our buddies has a paranormal podcast. And it's crazy how much that Black Forest comes up in those paranormal things. So.
Oh, really?
I'm staying out.
It's not your bag, I know. Not mine either, but I'm a fan of his, not necessarily of the topic, but anyway, that Black Forest is a weird place, I guess.
Yeah, that from what I understand.
Let me be the first to say, Denny, thank you very much for your time.
No, brother, thank you guys. This is great.
If you could, before we actually wrap this thing up, just let everybody know what's the best way to keep an eye on you, everything you guys have going on at Duck Blind, and, of course, ultimately, what's the best way to get some of that coffee in their hands?
How can we migrate to a better cup?
Yeah, that's the question, right? I tell everybody, join the migration.
That's right.
So, but no, right as of right now, online sales are probably the best way out of town for people to get it out of town. People out your side of the state, that would be the easiest. Duckblind.online is the website. Keep an eye on what's going on and stuff like that, our social media and on Instagram and Facebook. Try to keep up on that as much as we can, stories and things like that. Best way to keep up, what we're doing. And we have some stores out on this end of the state, in Clinton, Pittsburgh area. There's a couple Do It Best hardware stores that carry it for us right now. Local guys, the local farmers market out here, Janoski's. They have a pretty big farm, and they've been really hammering it out for us there too. And the 412 Project in Moon is a restaurant that actually just won a couple awards in Pittsburgh. They sell the coffee there. You can buy it in cups.
Cool.
And it's pretty interesting, man. Like I said, getting a local foothold in everything, and got some plans with the school district here. We're gonna do a couple fundraisers for them too. So it's gonna be, right now, best way to get it online at the website, and I'll get it out to you, as fast as within 5 days. I'm trying.
What's the website address, Denny?
It's www.duckblind.online.
Duckblind.online.
Very good.
Yep.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you very much for spending some time and
This was
energy
great.
with us tonight.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
If you
Yeah.
hang on the
No.
line while we wrap up the show, we'll actually send you out some duck blind coffee.
I know a guy.
Okay, man.
need
Maybe
your
we'll
address.
save the pack this.
We're gonna
this
need your
week.
address.
You're gonna need the address.
Just actually, I'll send it to the golf course if you want to give me that address.
Okay.
You're still trying to get me to give you that address, and I go, I love it.
It's on to me.
Good stuff.
Thank you,
very
Denny.
good stuff.
Yeah, guys. No, thank you very, very much. You guys have, I couldn't thank you guys more for this. So.
Hey, thank you,
Awesome.
Denny.
Thanks.
God
Thanks,
bless you
Denny.
guys.
All right, guys.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, buddy.
Speaking of sponsors and good people out there, who else is sponsoring us this month?
This month's episodes are brought to you in part by Protection First Class Outdoors. PFC lubes were designed and developed to protect and lubricate your firearms, your bows, your tree stands, heck, all your outdoor equipment. Guys, I'm telling you, this stuff was originally designed to use in automotive undercoatings. Now, it don't get more corrosive than that.
I heard that.
That's true.
Make sure you head on over to pfcoutdoors.com. Check out everything they got going on over there. Pick up some of that lube. It's the ticket. That PFC is good stuff. Can't
It
get
is
enough
good
of it.
stuff.
Cannot get enough of it.
Can't get enough lanolin.
So, Bucky,
Yeah, buddy.
how can people find us?
You can find us at RuttenRiverPursuits.com and on all social media like Facebook, Instagrams, and such. You can get us at Rutten River Pursuits. On the YouTubes, it's at Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. And you can always download this episode and all our episodes on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts.
I love those
Boom.
Apple podcasts.
I like the Hearts radios.
No, you do. Well, good show, boys.
It was great.
Well played. I got to go get me another cup of coffee, I think. I'm going to go
After
migrate
this.
to a better cup right now.
I'm jonesing
All right.
for a cup of Joe.
See you, boys.
All right.
We're gonna win.
Get outdoors.
I'm sitting there and one day and it kind of just clicked, and I wrote it down, and I had a couple other business ideas on top of that with all related to coffee because I just kind of got hooked on it.
Just go ahead and start telling us about them right now.
Oh yeah, I know, right? That's
Details, please.
Yeah, details. Yeah. Copyrights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The explosion and the popularity, all that craft stuff, I mean, it speaks to, like you were saying, about the quality and stuff like that. And people have discerning tastes, and the fact of the matter is, the cream will always rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one.
I actually have a list that I'm scratching off as I use it. So.
Hopefully we won't double up.
I was wondering if you were writing stuff down. So what happens is
You have
we
to
try to
shout
get
4 before you pull the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. You have to yell 4 before you squeeze off and cut your round off.
You have
Yeah.
to pull it. Yeah, you have to yell 4 before you squeeze off 3.